Uh, Hello, good evening, good morning to everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Sig David Sports. I'm gonna do sports contents and interviews with athletes, active and retired, and sports-related people. And today, I have the honor and pleasure to have a live chat interview with a former world champion, former super world bantamweight champion, Leo Randolph, who's also won the Olympic gold at the 1976 Olympic Games in Montreal, and he was part of one of the best American boxing teams ever assembled in that includes Sugar Ray Leonard, Michael Spinks, Leon Spinks that won the Olympic gold in the 1976 Olympic Games, just like as mentioned. So Leo, welcome here to my channel, welcome to my space, and a pleasure and an honor to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing great, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for accepting. It's a pleasure to have you here. So anyway, let's talk about your beginnings in the sport, about where you grew up, and how did you start with boxing? How you start?
I started when I was 9 years old. My mom brought us here from Columbus, Mississippi. That's way back south of. I'm up in Northwest now, and so we started. I started a little gym, and 9 years old, went to the gym and started working out, and that's how I began.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your amateur career. So how many fights you had as an amateur?
I had 149 fights, and I lost seven of those 149.
Okay, let's talk about the time that you won the Olympic gold medal in back in Montreal, Canada, and you won the as far as I know, you won the Olympic gold in the flyweight division. But not only that, you were part of, we can say, one of the best Olympic teams ever assembled, because in that particular U.S. team in 1976, it included Sugar Ray Leonard, John Tate, the Spinks brothers, if I'm not mistaken. So there were a lot of fighters from the U.S. that brought a medal to the United States. So what was it like to have that kind of experience in an Olympic Games?
Wow, it was fantastic just to being around those guys because a lot of those guys have previous experience with international competition. So just being with them, the Leonard, the Spinks guys, Leon Spink, Leon was spectacular. We had a wonderful heavyweight, John Tate. He passed away. We're sorry for that. And then we had Howard Davis. He was on our team also, and he won the gold medal. So just being around Leonard, Sugar Ray Leonard, the Spinks boys, it was fantastic. Good experience.
Okay. One thing I forgot to ask you. Growing up, when you start to fight, was there any particular fight or any particular boxer that you like to watch?
At that particular time, no, there was no one that really stood out as a favorite. Just kind of went along to sport. At that time, gosh, Muhammad Ali was doing very well at the time, so he was an idol. Matter of fact, he came and visited our club one time, so that was a
Wow.
highlight. So we was enjoyed with that, but I just kind of went along and enjoyed the fighters just coming along.
Okay. And were you ever had a chance to spar with a fighter, or have a chance to spend time or share time, or train with guys that eventually became world champions at that Tacoma gym you went to?
You remember Sugar Ray Seals? He's the only one that won the gold medal back in 1972 at the Munich trial in
Wow.
Germany. He won the gold medal. I guess it was a middleweight, and so he was part of our team. He would more or less paved the way for us, for myself to go and try to achieve a gold medal.
Oh, okay. In that Tacoma boxing gym that you went to, were there any other fighters besides Sugars? great series that you mentioned that became also world champions.
Yeah, that was a Johnny Bumpus. And you heard of Rocky Lockridge?
Of course,
Um,
yes.
yeah,
Rocky.
Rocky Lockridge. We was on the same team. We started out together. Rocky Lockridge, Johnny Bumpus, and gosh, just a couple more that shot for it. We had some good guys, Dale Grant. So we had a lot of guys on our team that was good prospect.
Wow. And how does it? And how do you feel? What was it like to see to train with guys like Johnny Bamtus and someone like Rocky Lockridge, who went to have a very good career? Because you know that Rocky Lockridge fought guys like Julio Cesar Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, Eusebio Pedrosa, among several others in the pro ranks. So, so how do you feel when you saw Lockridge had that success that he had in his boxing career after you train with him?
That was great. I did not want to spar with Rocky Lockridge. He hit so hard. He would pound in your head and he was relentless. And I didn't like sparring with him. He was a good, it was good. He was a good teammate. And he cared a lot for his team. And we traveled around. Matter of fact, we went to the Lou Duva team in New Jersey. We joined that team together. So Rocky Lockridge was wonderful, good man to be around, and we miss him so much.
Okay. So tell me, as we mentioned, you went to Montreal, Canada, for the Olympic Games in 1976. So we can say that you had the chance to like to explore or to to new know a new country. So what was that experience for you to have the chance to visit a new country?
It was
Like,
great. Unfortunately, with my career, like the guys, Leonard and some other boxers have been around. They've been to Cuba, all the different countries around. The most I've been was I went to Mexico and I've been to Canada. That's the most out of the state experience that I had for being in other countries. So being in Canada was a great, phenomenal experience. I enjoyed being there. Nice to leave and be with that country.
okay, I see. Okay, so let's talk a bit. Let's talk about your talk about your pro career, and let's talk about the night that you became world champion in. Let's see, you became a world champion by defeating Ricardo Cardona back in 1980, and you did it in your, let's say, in your home state in Seattle, Washington, if I'm not mistaken. So, how do you remember that fight with Ricardo Cardona?
It was phenomenal. That was gosh, it opened a lot of doors, and it was a tough fight. Went 15 rounds, and I was extremely exhausted. He was too, and it was a great fight. Had to dig down deep, and around the 10th round, I was starting to feel fatigue, so I had to dig deep down and find some other in encouraging attitude to push myself to that next level.
Okay. What do you feel when you stop him in that last round and you managed to become world champion? So what was it like for you?
It was if you saw a video, they do have videos of it with my corner mans and all the people start running the ring, my relatives. I can see my uncle now and cousins and all of them just jumped in the ring and we were just dancing around like a hallelujah, Jonathan. We're just so happy, jumping and
Wow.
cheering. That lasted a little good 5 or 6 minutes while we just jumping around. So it was very exhilarating, extremely excited.
Okay. And okay, it was a night of glory. And then 3 months later, you fought a boxer from my my birth country,
Yeah.
Argentina,
Mm.
Sergio Palma. Then you lost a fight with Palma. And what do you think that happened to you in that fight? What happened? What you probably could have done better? What do you think happened in that fight with Palma?
Mine, if you watch that Rocky movie where it's like I didn't train right. They had me. I'm not trying to make any excuse because Palmer was that good. He was that tough, but they had me running all over the United States, making commercials and doing different things before the fight, before the Palmer fight. Technically, I had about maybe 3 weeks of good, solid training before I fought him, but he was that good. I'm not diminishing his because he was strong, solid, and he hit hard. And so I just say I wasn't really ready for that fight because that night before the fight, I was overweight, had to make weight that night in the steam shower before the fight. And that morning, and the fight was at noon, and got up that morning with like a couple of hours of sleep. So I'm making excuses why I lost. But but he was that good. I don't have any big excuse. Palmer was that good, that strong, and that fast. So it was hard to box him. As a matter of fact, he came out just whelming on me before. I said, wait a minute, it's a 15-round fight. You're not supposed to go that hard that first round. But he came out whelming the first round. He just relentless. And so his corner man knew what to do to defeat me because not making an excuse again, but they were coming to my camp, and I saw them over there. They were spying on me. So anyway, all right. But good opportunity to fight someone that of that level because he was number two rated fighter in the world, so he had already been up there in that category, and he knew what to look for and what to do.
Okay, so you're saying that if you had like more time to train for the fight, if you have more time, you have a more proper training camp, you think that the outcome of that fight it probably would have been different.
It could have been because he that's just his style. He's just a macho, and so it could have been maybe he would have beat me up more if I would have trained harder. So I don't know. He just came out really hard, and if I would have, I had no idea he was going to come out that strong because with Cordova we just kind of came out the first round, filling each other out or whatever, and seeing what's going on. Well, Palmer he just came out whelming, didn't even want to feel me out like he already knew what I was going to do and wasn't going to do. So I'm thinking if I had more um, insight on what was going to happen before, like if I had some training, some people on my side to go and look at him and check him out or whatever, I probably could have did better. But physically, I wasn't really into it physically, and maybe I wasn't into it mentally, just kind of going through the emotion. It wasn't like when I fought Cardona, I was extremely fired up and ready for it and just said, come on, let's do this.
Okay, and I see that after the fight with Sergio Parma, that you retired and never fought again. Like, is there any particular reason that you wanted to retire after that fight? You didn't want to fight anymore, or discouragement? What do you think that happened? What do you think is the reason that you retired after losing to Palma?
Because I don't have a killer instinct in my heart. So once you lose that desire, I lost the desire to want to train, to want to do anything. After that fight, I said, man, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I didn't have anything to keep me going, like go in there and hurt the guy or whatever. It's just like, okay, I had enough. I don't want to do it anymore, and I quit. My trainer and coaches and all the managers and all tried to get me to continue, but mentally inside, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get up and run anymore because that running, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, running around. I just didn't want to do any of that stuff anymore. So I knew for my safety, it's time to get out because you get hurt if you go in there halfway, messing around like I did with Palm. Wasn't completely 100% physically ready to fight him. I wanted to cancel the fight, and then the promoter and all said, "No, we could, this too far in. You can't cancel the fight." It was already set to go, and I think like 4 or 5 days before the fight, I said, "Man, I don't want to do this." They said, "Nope, too late."
Wow, you didn't want to do it, and yet you had no choice but to fight Palma.
Say that again.
Okay, you didn't. You said that you didn't want to fight, but yet that you couldn't, you had to go on with a Sergio Palma fight, right?
Right, right. Physically, I know I wasn't ready, wasn't prepared. Like I said, I've been traveling around doing commercials and doing interviews, and we had matter of fact, legal matters with boxing situation with the Lou Duva. You heard of a promoter called Lou Duva?
Yes, he
Yeah,
will do
out
a
of New
promote and
York. Yeah,
train.
I was with him at one time, and he gave me a lot of issues when I won the championship because we left him and went to Muhammad Ali Professional Promotion Group. So I went with them and left Luduva, and he didn't like that I left him, and so they tried to. It was just a lot of political stuff going on with the fight before the boxing match even started. So we didn't know for 100% that we are going to be able to fight. But I'm not making excuses again because Palmer came out strong and ready, and he wanted the championship, and he got it.
Okay, very that's very interesting what you're saying, and maybe some people should learn from you. Some fighters should learn from you because they say they retire, but they come back, retire and come back, and you know that's something we have seen very often in boxing. Fighters retire and come back.
hmm And it's going on right now. That's a couple more. But matter of fact, Manny Pacquiao just came back. He retired and came back after he's 46
Yeah.
years old. So yeah, it happened. I have to admit, when I was coming up, I did have that urge to want to come back and do it again because it's deep inside. It's part of me since I was 9 years old. So I did try to make a little comeback and talk to some people and worked a little bit, and then it didn't work out. So I just followed my spiritual mind and said, don't even pursue it.
Okay. And if you're still if you watch boxing now, you watch boxing today. How do you see the sport of boxing now? So how do you see it?
I'm thinking each person that get into that ring, they done worked and did what they need to do training wise. So they doing the best they can with their ability. So I won't try to judge and say this group is better than the other group because everybody can't compare. I just say to be a champion, you got to work hard, train hard, and then work hard in the ring, then become a champion. So I don't think one group is better than the other. You're gonna have political stuff going on all the time, I guess, with the manager, promoters, and all. But I can't compare this boxing to the other generations.
Okay, can understand that. And of all the fighters that you see in boxing today, is there any fighter that you like to watch?
One of my favorite boxers was I do like a lot of people don't like him. I did back in the days. He passed away now. Aaron Pryor. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember him, Aaron
of
Pryor.
course,
He
yes.
was he was one of my favorite boxer at the time, and so I really enjoyed watching him box back in the days.
Oh wow, the Hawk Aaron Pryor. Wow,
hmm
he was very good. He was very good to watch. Good to watch. Okay,
And
so
I
tell
like
me.
a good boxer. And people want to see people go and brawl and fight and blah, but I like a good boxer that use techniques and all, and just really good on that part.
Yeah, yes, I can understand that. So tell me, so after that you retire from boxing, so what do you do? You became like a trainer, you manage fighters. So what do you do after retiring?
Ironically, after when I was younger, I always wanted to be a truck driver, good commercial truck driver. So after I retired, I went to truck driving school to learn how to drive big, giant semi trucks. So I went
Oh,
on and kept pursuing and kept pushing it, and I finally got my truck driving license, and I drove dump trucks for almost a year. And so that's what I did after I retired from boxing. Then after that, a lot of other different jobs came along. Working with the school district, working with the Boys and Girls Club, and my last job, my major job, I drove city bus for the city of Tacoma, Washington, and that was my last big job. And I did it for 38 years driving a city bus.
Wow. And wow, that must have been a very difficult job to drive around the Tacoma, taking a lot of routes to take people to their destinations.
It was a challenge. You had challenge because people have attitude, and you're going to get challenged all the time. Not only you dealing with people attitude, you deal with the cars on the road and your time, trying to be somewhere on a certain time, and don't want to get in an accident. So it was a lot. It was a lot of mental stress to go with that.
Okay, and so tell me, the, just we mentioned that the guys that come retire and come back. What do you feel that Manny Pacquiao returning to fight Mario Barrios? We know he had a draw, but do you think that Pacquiao should have accepted the fight? Do you think that he should have stayed retired? So, what's your opinion on that?
It's a mental thing, your mind, because if he don't do it now while he can. So I'm thinking it's good for him to get it out of the system. If he wouldn't have did it, he would have been later on years from now saying, "Oh, I could have did this, I could have did that." Best go ahead and get it out if he can. That's the thing about it. Your mind say you could do it, but after you get in the ring, your body said, "Wait a minute, I don't want to do this," because you don't realize that it's a different over years. Your body kind of deteriorates. So when Manny came back and he did as well as he did to maintain after being at the age he is, I think it's good for him that he could do it. I wouldn't advise a lot of people to come back after that. Um, Leah Ali want to come back, and I wouldn't like to see. I would not like to see her come back.
Yeah, because she said there was talking about Layla Ali wanting to probably fight Clarissa Shields. I don't know how true is
Hmm.
that.
Yep, Shield is going to have a fight coming up now. I guess maybe this week. Shield's having a fight coming up.
Okay. And what do you feel that aspect of Layla Ali returning to, if it happens, what are your thoughts on that of Layla Ali probably returning after being out of the ring for more than 20 years?
And that's the thing. I wouldn't want to say anything negative about that her return. I would just go along with it, roll with the punches. If she want to come back, hey, that's something she want to do, and she had to work hard in training because make up some of that time that she lost over the years. You lose your timing, and you lose a lot of things. The techniques and all, got to regrain all that. She haven't totally lost it because she had it before she left, but I would just say be supportive. I wouldn't be negative and say don't do it or whatever. If this is something you want to get up early in the morning and run and train and push your body to the limit, because you're pushing your body to another limit, and then hey, so be it. I'm gonna be behind you.
Oh, okay. So tell me, hey, so how do you see boxing now? Do you feel like there's a lot of talent in the amateur ranks, in the pro ranks? You watch the sport, so how do you see it?
It is a lot of talent. People think it's not where it was before. I think the ref have to be more cautious of the fighters because before they'll let them fight and be all blooded and beat it up and let them fight. But now it's about I think more like their health. People they're more concerned with their health and want the boxers to not to be come out with maybe some kind of illness when they get older, like now little things go on, lose their brains and lose things like that. So I think now they're more concerned about health. That's why they went down to 12 rounds instead of 15 rounds, and the ref are more likely to stop a fight than they did back in the days. So I look at it that way, that now is more, it's safe, more they're trying to keep it safe for the athletes.
Oh, okay. And I don't know if you heard about that. This guy, like this Turkey guy, that he's trying to do many good fights in South Arabia. Arabia, I don't know if you heard about it.
He's what? What about him?
Turkey guy, there's a guy that I think he's from Arabia. He has done a lot of good fights in South Arabia, like that Dimitro Bivol, Artur Beterbiev fights. So we're having a lot of good fights now. So what do you think? Are you watching them?
I know I haven't really been watching it. Maybe this summer, well, it's summer now, but maybe I might start watching them more. But I haven't been watching a lot of the boxing. We have this new cable channel where we get any fights at any time, so we might start watching more boxing than we did before. Sometime I go to, we have a boxing tournament here up here in the Northwest, and I go to that, and also I go to the amateur tournament. As a matter of fact, I'll do the officiating. I do the announcement for the amateur tournaments here. So I am kind of involved in boxing in that way.
Okay. And how do you feel about that, being a ring announcer in the amateur tournaments? Like, do you like it? Do you like to see the amateur fights? How do you see it?
It's great. I really like it. I feel like I'm part of it again. Just being there announcing in the red corner, the winner, like that and stuff. It's a good adrenaline feeling, and so I enjoyed when I had to do the announcing. Matter of fact, one's coming up, and I'm supposed to do the announcement for that tournament coming up. So it's exciting. I'm still part of the boxing era. I'm not getting hit in the face, so I could just like okay, get in there, get out without getting hurt. So I enjoyed being an announcer.
Okay. And what do you think about the fighters like earning like bigger purses, like bigger fight purses than before? Back in the times when you fought. What do you think about that?
And I'm thinking that's a matter of time and society, and naturally, the more what's worth back then is not worth now. So money for money is probably added to be about the same with the comedy and all. So I think they just keeping up with society by getting more money. Yeah, that's what I think. And plus, the more things going on for them to watch, HBO, pay per view, a lot of place promoters out there for them to get more money and make more money.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you one more thing. After you retire, have you ever thought about being a boxing trainer, like a trained fighters? You ever thought about that?
I did. I did it for a while. Matter of fact, I had a boxer, but since I know what it takes to be a champion, and this guy wasn't putting out to that level, and I'm saying you're gonna get yourself hurt. So and being a trainer, you giving up your time, all your effort and your energy, and to this guy, put it into this guy, and this guy might say, "Hey, I don't want to box anymore." So it takes a lot to be a trainer, and I didn't have that desire to be a trainer long. I wanted to be a supervisor for the company I was with. So I put my time into that, going to school and working and training, and so I became a supervisor at my company. That was one of my biggest goals of achievement outside of boxing.
Okay. And is okay. What kind of message like would you like to send to the next or newer generation of fighters? Is there any message or any advice that I would like to give them to the newer or and next generation of fighters?
The main thing is to put in your heart. This is what you want to do. Set a goal. Set a goal. Say, hey, I want to be this, and then you shoot for that goal. And if your goal is to be an Olympic champion, shoot for that. If you want to be a world champion, shoot for that. And you got to train. You got to run. Get out there on the road and run. Just run around in stationary running. And I'm not for that. You got to get out there on the road and run hard and be ready and prepare yourself for the fight that's coming up.
Uh, okay. So well. we can end it here. We can
Mhm.
finish. We can end it here. So well, Leo, it was great talking to you. Thanks for
Mhm.
accepting. Very appreciative to hear you, to know, to hear you, listen to you, hear about your career. And well, best of luck. And it was a pleasure and an honor to have you here.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for having me this interview, and I wish you success with your program. I want to see you all over the world with this program. So keep going, and you keep doing. How long you been at it now? That just doing interviews.
In my Spanish YouTube channel over a year. Now in this English speaking YouTube channel just started.
Okay, wow. You're just beginning. Wow,
Yeah.
just a new beginning. So I'm gonna look for you everywhere. Then I hope to be all over. So good
Okay.
luck to you.
Thanks. Thank you. It was a pleasure to have you here. And follow me, subscribe to my channel so
Mm-hmm.
you watch more of my content and you hear more of my interviews with more athletes and more world champions like Leo Randolph here. So
Mm-hmm.
Mario, nice to have you here.
All right, thank you. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right,
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Bye.